Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another match review. The last one of the season. This is Chelsea 1, Newcastle 1. And honestly, I had to do at least one last one. I know I haven't been super active because the season has honestly just been so incredibly difficult for me to do it. I'm going to open the door because I think my Wi-Fi is a little bit crappy at the moment. But I obviously had to do one last match review. Couldn't miss the last one of the season. Honestly, like the past couple, I just didn't know what to say. I didn't want to add to the negativity, and I just felt like, oh, this season is a write-off, so I'm not going to be analyzing it. But I do feel like there's some positives to draw, and definitely I'm getting all of the emotions looking at the pictures of the players who we think are leaving Chelsea this summer doing a lap around Stamford Bridge, and it's just hitting me in all of the feels. But let me know in the comments what you guys want to talk about, what you want to touch on. I'm definitely going to talk about the game and then maybe talk about some of the touching moments that we saw and just the players that I think are going to be leaving Chelsea at the end of the season, or in the summer, because it is the end of the season. So first off, let me oh wait, I'm in the wrong tab. Let me share my screen, you guys, as I always do. So I'm going to share my screen here. Chelsea starting 11 comes out. Honestly, at this point, I didn't look. Okay, I didn't look at all into the starting 11 because there was nothing else left to play for. I saw a lot of people complaining about it, so I was super curious to see what the starting 11 was. Then when I logged on, I was like, it's not so far off of what I expected, to be honest. So we see Kepa in goal, not surprising for me. Mendy got thrown a game, made a couple of mistakes, so we see Kepa back in goal. Then we see a back four of Lewis Hall, Thiago Silva, Trevor Chalobah, and Azpilicueta. This wasn't surprising to me either, given that Ben Chilwell's out, Cucurella's injured. Hall has been fantastic for Chelsea, so he gets the start. Aspie obviously starts. Reece is out injured. Frank Lampard seems to favor a back four. And then maybe the only thing you could say is Trevor's in for Wesley Fofana. Again, Fofana had made so many mistakes in the previous game, so I didn't see that surprising. I didn't see the midfield so surprising either. Ruben Loftus-Cheek paired with Enzo. The only thing you could say is maybe bring Kova in, but I don't think Kova's been performing that well, so I didn't think twice about that. Then the front four, Sterling, Gallagher, Madueke, Havertz. Honestly, I feel like Sterling and Madueke have been performing pretty well in the past couple of games. And then Conor Gallagher and Kai Havertz, I don't really know who else you start necessarily ahead of them. We'll take a look. Maybe you could have started Joao Felix, but again, he's out. He's on loan. But other than that, maybe start Mikhailo Mudryk. I'm honestly surprised that he didn't even get subbed on. Maybe you bring him on. But other than that, I wasn't really so fussed about the starting 11. And from Newcastle, we saw a couple of big names benched, the big one being Callum Wilson. Honestly, with the goal run that he's been on, I was shocked that he didn't start. But let's take a look at the stats over here. So I honestly felt that Chelsea played okay in this game. Maybe from the second half onwards. The first half was pretty poor. When Newcastle scored, let me see if it says, yeah, they scored within 10 minutes. They scored at the 9-minute mark. The defending on that goal was just so poor. Just nobody showing any urgency, nobody shutting down the ball. We let it be far too easy for them. Anthony Gordon scores his first goal for Newcastle in the Premier League as well. For some reason, I feel like we have a history of that happening, that we let players score their first goals for their clubs, or their first goal in X amount of games for the clubs. And oh my God, what happened to my voice? And then I felt like after the goal, Chelsea kind of looked like waking up a little bit. Raheem Sterling took a shot, then ended up bouncing off of Trippier, own goal. Unfortunate for him, but I'll take it. And it's what I always say, like, just take shots because you don't know where the ball is going to land. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. And I think like that's the prime example of that. So you see here, Chelsea had expected goals of 2.21 to Newcastle's 1.7. So I definitely felt that we could have gone and won this game. You look at this 22 total shots to their 13, almost double the amount of shots that they had. 5 shots on target to their 4, 9 shots off target to their 5. So I do feel that Chelsea actually had a fairly decent game. If we had number 9 in the team, I feel that we could have definitely won this game. Lewis Hall was putting in these absolute peaches of balls. I felt like he should have got an assist. I feel like his first Chelsea goal is coming for him as well. I thought that Madueke did pretty good. His decision making still kind of needs to pick his head up a bit and like decide, oh, do I want to cross it? Do I want to pull the ball back? What do I want to take a shot? What do I want to do? Because I feel like sometimes he's thinking too much about what he wants to do, but he's shown so much promise. And I think that he really is like a diamond in the rough, or not even necessarily in the rough, because I can so see the potential. And working with Poch for a couple of months, I think that we're going to see him just absolutely take off, because the way that he can take on defenders 1v1, his dribbling is incredible. And I was super impressed with that. So once he kind of gets better at the decision making, I think that we're going to start to benefit from that as well, because a couple of times I felt that he could have released the ball a little bit earlier than he had done. But overall, I thought that it was a really great performance from him. Lewis Hall, like I said, I don't know how he didn't get an assist in this match. And I think that that just highlights Chelsea's need for a striker. But other than that, let's take a look. We had 10 corner kicks. Some of the corner kicks like hit the first man. 2 big chances missed. Joao Felix had a pretty good chance as well. I think Kai Havertz had a good header. We can take a look at who had those big chances missed. Then we have 573 passes, 90% accurate passes, which is actually quite good. 21 tackles to their 13. They had more interceptions and clearances, and I think that that's kind of to be expected. Joao Felix had a really good opportunity, and the last minute of the game could have gone to win it for Chelsea, but so close there. So let's take a look at some statistics here. So in the attack, shots on target, Almiron almost transferred into my fantasy team actually for like one last go. He had 2 shots on target, 2 shots off target. He missed 1 big chance. Sterling had 2 shots on, 2 shots off. Christian Pulisic, yes, he missed a big chance as well. I'm just seeing, oh yeah, and Joao Felix was the other big chance missed. Let's take a look at shots blocked. Joao Felix had 2 shots blocked. Dribble success. Look at this. Noni Madueke. Insane. 6 out of 6, 100% of his dribbles completed. The same amount as St. Maximin, but obviously like 100%, which is just incredible. Like, this guy is going to be so good. I can just feel it. Like, just with the proper coaching, he's going to be amazing. Looking at clearances, Newcastle topped the board for that. Same with block shots. Conor Gallagher made the most interceptions at 3, then Bruno Guimaraes at 2, and Enzo at 2. Tackles, Aspie topping. Aspie at 6, and he was dribble past 2 times, but you can see here, Matt Target dribble past 4 times, St. Maximin 3, Gallagher and Fernandez 3 apiece as well. Let's see, do we have like long ball accuracy? Enzo topping it yet again. Like, this guy is just so good at long balls. 10 out of 12 long ball accuracy. Like, we're going to unlock him. I just feel it. I honestly do. Enzo with the most touches, accurate passes. Enzo topping it again, along with Thiago Silva. Key passes, St. Maximum had 5. Chukwuemeka had 4. Really great showing from him as well, even though he came off of the bench. Lewis Hall had 3, Madueke had 3, Enzo had 2. I feel like you see here that there's just like so much potential in this squad. And I'm just honestly happy that I saw something, because I felt that the players were a little bit laggy. Maybe like they weren't really going for the ball in the first 15 minutes or so. Newcastle scored, and I was like, please, like, don't let this 1-0 become a 4-0. Don't let your head go down. And I really just wanted to see a little bit of fight and promise from the team. And I feel like we have good pieces. Like, I'm not like maybe as worried as some fans, because I feel like what we need to do is sell the right players, be super strategic in who we bring in, and then give Poch a year or two. And I truly, truly, truly do believe that he's going to be the right person to help this Chelsea side and to get the best out of our players. I think about Enzo Fernandez. I think about Madueke, Mudryk. They're all going to flourish under Poch. And so I'm super excited to see what he brings to the team, essentially. So taking a look at the Premier League table, the final Premier League table, I tried to do a video on my predictions because they were so off. I think the only thing I got right was Man City winning the league. Like, I think literally everything else was off. Somehow, wow, Spurs finished in 8th. I can't believe that they finished in 8th by 1 point. Oh my God, I didn't realize that they were that far low in the table. So looking at your top 4, this was already confirmed. Man City, Arsenal, United, and Newcastle with the Champions League football. Liverpool saved their season towards the end and clawed back they went up 2-0 and then were losing 4-2 and then clawed back a draw, which is insane. Liverpool, Brighton with Europa League football as well. Then Villa, Spurs, Brentford, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Chelsea finishing in 12th place. I think this is our joint lowest points tally ever. We've definitely never finished in the bottom half of the table before. I'm honestly just glad that this season is over and behind us. And then the relegated teams, Leicester, Leeds, and Southampton. Honestly, I really wanted Leicester to stay in the league, and at one point it looked like they were going to be doing it. I feel so gutted for them, honestly. And Everton just pulled one from Decore, and that essentially guaranteed that they stayed in the league for next season. But that was just insane. And so I'm personally sad to see Leicester. I have like such a warm spot for them since they won the league, and I don't know what they accomplished, so I'm feeling a little bit sad about that. But what are your guys' thoughts on this Premier League table? Going to get to some comments now. Triumph says, should we sack Lampard like Tuchel got sacked? I don't understand your question because Lampard is just an interim caretaker manager. He is not going to be with Chelsea. Mauricio Pochettino will be the new Chelsea manager, which should be announced by the club in the next couple of days. I actually would love to see Frank Lampard as a pundit. I do feel like maybe he needs to hone in more his coaching skills, but I feel like he has such good analysis of the game. Like, I would love to see him say that. And Nasrin says, finally, this horrible season is over. I totally feel you. Like, this has been such a hard season. I think like the season for me has been more difficult than 2015-16. Obviously, I wasn't a content creator in that year, and so I was kind of just like suffering through like the rest of Chelsea fans. But this year, to be a content creator, it has just been so difficult because I don't feel like anybody's really engaged with the content or the club. And I felt like you can't really say anything, because if you say something positive, then people come at you. If you say something more like critical, then people come at you. So it's just kind of been like a lose-lose situation this season. So I'm like very excited for the summer to focus on like summer signings and Poch with the team and everything. Like I'm really excited for a new season. to start. So I don't know if you guys saw like all of this stuff on social media. Like I was literally just like not crying, but I really, really wanted to cry seeing that Mason Mount looked like he was really upset going around the pitch for the last time. Apparently, I don't know. I couldn't see like a video of that, but that's just what people who were at the bridge are saying on Twitter. In the game, it seemed. Let's talk about some of the players that I think are leaving. So it seems like Ruben Loftus-Cheek. He had a massive applause. He was kind of going around in the middle of the game, and it seemed like he was saying goodbye. He was one of the last players to leave the pitch. I think Aspie is leaving at the end of the season as well. He was also one of the last players to leave the pitch. I think that's pretty typical of him, but I know that he just had the 1 year extension. And it seems like, I don't know, things were already so much up in the air last season. Obviously, he's not at the same level as he once used to be. Still brilliant, brilliant player for us. And did you guys like, I literally was just like crying seeing this banner that we made for him that said, "We'll just call you legend." Like, I don't know how he sees that and is it in tears, because I was nearly in tears seeing that. Like, that was just the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen. So I think Aspie is leaving. I think that was a really beautiful tribute for him. And I'm really glad that we were able to do something for him, because last season I just didn't feel that he got that tribute. And so it wouldn't have been right. Obviously, it's like a bit sad that his season is ending on such a low. But he's won literally everything that you could possibly win with Chelsea. N'Golo Kante was out injured. It was rumored that he was going to be signing a new contract. Then that has been completely hushed. I haven't seen anything about this. And so I don't really know what's going on with Kante, but it seems like he could potentially be one of the players leaving this season. Mason Mount, like, I could make a whole other video on that. Just completely freaking breaks my heart, because he loves the club. He cares about the club. And he's one of the nicest people. Like, I met him and he was just so lovely, and he's like that to everybody. And I think it's a real shame. I don't know what's going on in the contract situation. There's, of course, a million things that have been reported, but the only people who truly know what's going on are Mason and the people doing the negotiating at Chelsea. But I just find it shocking that we're even considering letting him go, our player of the season for 2 seasons. Like, that one really, really, really hurts. Hakeem Ziyech, I think, is leaving at the end of the season. I didn't see anything about like him kind of going to the crowd on Twitter or anything like that. Maybe it comes up after, because I started streaming directly after the game. So maybe we see something. I think Edouard Mendy could potentially leave Chelsea at the end of the season. I think Kovacic is leaving Chelsea. Again, I didn't see anything. If you guys have seen things on social media, let me know if you've seen anything about people leaving the club, like doing a lab, anything like that. I think Christian Pulisic is probably going to be leaving the club at the end of the season as well. Joao Felix, we don't really know since he was on loan. I've seen that maybe we try to get him on loan for a second season. I wouldn't be opposed to that, but I wouldn't want to be buying him for an entire season, for forever. And I'm trying to see, I think Thiago Silva has already confirmed he's staying for next season. Kai Havertz, another one who I was thinking could potentially be leaving Chelsea this season. I'm not sure, but it didn't look like apparently he didn't wave to the fans like how Ruben had when he was subbed. I didn't see anything, so I'm not too sure on that one, but that's another name that's maybe up in the air. And I think that's it. Like, maybe Trevor Chalobah, but I don't really think he's going to be leaving Chelsea. Maybe Conor Gallagher. Again, there's like some names that are pretty clear that you think, okay, these people are probably leaving, and then others that might be more on the chopping block. But yeah, I was just absolutely I'm like gutted with Mason and Aspie. Like that's just the worst. That's the worst. Um, yeah, it's so sad. Thank you. I'm so upset about it. Like I can't even tell you how upset I am. And I literally got the Chelsea third kit and I was like, "Oh, let me get the name of a player who's going because I like getting players' names on the back. Like I know a lot of people like having it like I kind of like having like, oh, this is one of my favorite players on the back." And so I was like, let me get a player who's going to be at Chelsea for the long term. Because a couple of years ago, I got Pulisic after he got given the number 10 and he had his purple patch. And everybody was like, oh, we finally found like our Eden Hazard replacement, blah, blah, blah. And then he like hasn't played for Chelsea. So I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to go safe and I'm going to go for a player that I know is going to stay at Chelsea for the next like 10 years. And I got Mason Mount. And now he's probably leaving Chelsea. I don't even know. Like, that's how crazy it was to me that I could not even fathom that something like that would happen. So it's so sad. Yeah, Danny says Mount Jordan Manchester United will be a big mistake. Like I honestly feel like he's going to just kill it wherever he goes. Everybody's saying, oh, he's had like a really rough season. The entire team has had a rough season. Like we're 12th. Nobody's had a good season. So I just think that that's like such an unfair argument, honestly. And I think it's so sad because, again, like I said, Chelsea's player of the season for 2 seasons in a row was just like he's just incredible. He's Chelsea. He knows what it means to play for Chelsea. He goes around, claps off the fans, even when we're playing like crap. I just like I don't know how we let that happen. It's so sad. A couple of people are talking about like what Chelsea need. Triumph says, I think Chelsea need new goalkeeper, center back. I don't know, like center back, we have so many. So I think definitely a goalkeeper. I think we need goalkeeper, DM, and a striker, honestly. But I don't know what we do because we already have so many players. Like Chelsea, unless Chelsea managed to sell all of the surplus players that they have, I think that we're going to find it hard to be competitive. Like we really need to have a trimmed down squad, or at least make sure that the players that we keep like go out on loan, and you have a squad of like 23 to 26 players, but no more than that. So I think like we really need to trim down and make sure that we do our business properly. Desperately need a DM. Desperately, well, maybe not as desperately, but like I think a goalkeeper could save you in certain games and save you points, like a world-class goalkeeper. And a striker. Like I said today, I just feel that Chelsea have been missing a striker. You could see it in the crosses that Lewis Hall put in, and a lot of the times it's just like there's nobody in the box. Like you have a really beautiful ball put into the box or fizzed across, but there's nobody to get on the end of it, and we're lacking somebody with that like killer instinct. I still find it surprising that we sold Tammy Abraham when he had 16 goals in a season. Nobody's like tops that for Chelsea since he's left. I thought that he was like so good for us and still like unfinished product. But yeah, I haven't seen Chelsea even like linked with strikers recently, so I don't know what we're going to do. Yeah, a lot of people are saying Osimhen. I don't I have seen like people wanting him, maybe Chelsea inquiring about him, but I don't know like how strong necessarily the links are. But yeah, Napoli could be really difficult to negotiate with. We got Koulibaly, but look at how long we wanted Koulibaly, and we got him kind of like once he already hit his peak as well. So Ugarte, I don't think we're getting Emi Martinez. I've seen an Emi Martinez link. Have you guys seen links for Emi Martinez? I haven't seen anything, and I highly doubt that Villa are gonna sell him, honestly. But I don't know. Let me know. God, yeah. So I'm just like on social media scrolling, seeing like the Aspie banner and people saying goodbye to Mason Mount, and it's just destroying my soul, honestly. And with Mount, I thought like Poch getting appointed could help, and like maybe we could still see Mason Mount stay, but it's looking super unlikely, and so I'm just absolutely gutted. Fabo says Chelsea really need a killer striker. We can't go through this type of season ever again. Totally agree with you. Hopefully we don't. I don't think that we're going to necessarily like start kickoff and like be right back in the Champions League. Like I would hope so. I would love that. But we have a really, really difficult task ahead, and Chelsea really need to sell the players that don't want to be here, that aren't happy. We need to create like a core group of players, and so Poch has his work cut out for him. I know a lot of people are drawing parallels to the 2015-16 season where we came in 10th and then went on to win the league that year, but we still had first off, we had just won the league the previous year, so we had players with the mentality of winning the league. It wasn't so far off, and so I just don't know if it's necessarily going to be like that same comparison. Obviously, Chelsea won the Champions League a couple of years ago, but this team is going to be actually quite different, I think, to the team that won the Champions League. There's a lot of new players in, and a lot of the players that won the Champions League are out. So yeah, super, super, super crazy. But guys, hope that you enjoyed this last stream of the season. I'm going to be planning loads of content for the summer, and I'm just like feeling relieved to not have to worry about like Chelsea and the season, and I feel like a lot later and that we can have like a clean break and everything. So I'm looking very much forward to all of the content over the season or over the summer. So let me know what you guys want to see in the comment box down below, or just like on social media, whatever. Drop this video a like and make sure to sub to the channel if you aren't already. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, evening, whatever time you're watching this, and until next time, I'm out. Bye.